Well, Vicki, how do you feel about what you accomplished here today?
I feel great about it. I am really thankful to see all the people that came out and were part of this top priority issue in our region and in our county. I thought there was a lot of really good expressions, different opinions, a lot of different ideas that were presented, as well as that came forth from the audience. So, fantastic.
It seems like you and Liz are taking the time to not prejudge any of this ideas for solutions. And right now you're kind of in the gathering stage. Is that accurate?
That's exactly right. And it always, any project, any process has to start with the citizens. So that's why for us, it's so important to have this town hall, to be able to have citizens from all areas in our community really come out and be able to share what's important for them and their families. And at this point, prioritization is going to be key as we look obviously at a process and potential planning. So that's where this feedback really comes in as being critical.
You heard from a lot of citizens today who are frustrated with the congestion issues and the traffic issues. What can you say to the citizens of Clark County as to, a potential timeline for solving some of these issues?
Yeah. Well, I will say, put on your seatbelts and for the whole solution, the whole enchilada, it will probably take, several years. But, to your point, Ken, I actually just recently did a survey to my citizens and constituents in the 17th, and the top issue, the one that the most people responded to, was the need to reduce traffic congestion on the I-5. So with that being the problem that we have to address, then we're looking obviously at extra capacity that's needed to address that with whatever solution is determined. But that top priority came forth, really clearly as they started looking at, how are we going to tackle this problem? And so back to your question on how long will it take to actually get solutions in place? The good news is there is dialogue with Oregon legislators and folks across the river. That piece is probably the most important so that we can actually move on a timeline. And if we could get started on something in the next couple of years, practically, that would be ideal.
Lastly, Liz has introduced House Bill 1222, and now just in the last day or so, we heard from Senators Cleveland and Senator Rivers and other legislators about their own bill that they're going to introduce or that they're introducing. How would you describe the differences, and should we be concerned that the legislators in the area are not all on one team?
Well, it's a very important and realistic question, Ken, and I've been really thankful. I have been involved with all of our Southwest Washington legislators in these dialogues since December 26th, when we got together right after Christmas. We all know this is a really important priority for our citizens to get solved. So as we went through the conversations, my reason for doing that certainly was as a newer legislator to understand the different ideas and perspectives among our delegation here in the Southwest Washington area. And as that has transpired, those conversations and now these bills, I would say probably the biggest difference that I've seen between the two bills is really the designation of an I-5 bridge replacement as being the project to tackle and address with Senator Rivers and Cleveland bill. Where I'm at right now really is needing, I feel like it's really top priority that we go to the citizens before we decide on any project. We can't just assume, in my opinion, that what was is what is today. So we need to be able to hear from the citizens today on what are their needs for them and their families, certainly their commute needs, what do they like, what don't they like, and that should drive the priority and the prioritization of which project is the right solution to go after first. Certainly not to say that at some point we don't need to look at the I-5 bridge replacement, but for me, at this juncture, based on the conversations I've had, the feedback I've had from citizens, I really feel it's important, if we are going to truly solve I-5 congestion and reduce it, then we have to have extra capacity. And that, in my opinion, is going to be by adding a third bridge, maybe a tunnel. But if we tackle the I-5 first, it is only going to compound the congestion challenge. Out of the gate, we're going to be down to 1 to 1.5 bridges. That is the truth and reality. So that's why at this point, that's my observation about those bills.
Vicki, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Ken. Great talking to you always.
Thanks.